Hello, everybody, and welcome to Counting My Lucky Stars, my weekly live stream where I talk about gratitude, visit with friends, based on my new EP, Lucky Stars. During the show, be able to tell us what your hashtag you're counting your lucky stars for. So don't forget to do that because it's very important that we talk about the things that we are grateful for. This week's episode is simply called Lucky Stars because I'm going to play every darn song off the EP tonight. It's going to be so much fun. Trying to get my lighting right here. And we're going to bring in a very special guest named Nancy Tunick, who is my manager and the amazing Nancy Tunick. She is the best. She's going to join us to talk about the process of making this record. I figured while we start off, we'll do track number 1 because that only just seems fitting. This is a little song called Boy Like Me. You may have heard it. Hitting number 1 on your radio stations up in Canada. Come on, yeah. Why can't a boy like me and a girl like you find a little spot under neon lights, get to know you better Friday night, talking where you from and what's your mama like, dance a little closer than we thought we might, start us by the last the rest of our life. Cause a boy like me's only thinking one thing, gotta get you way out where the crickets sing, down a 2-lane road till you hear a big bang. Then before you know it, I pop a diamond ring on a girl like you, batting baby blues, looking at me saying you want one or two. And after a few good years, waking up to a boy like me and a girl like you, with a boy like me and a girl like you, yeah. She's gonna have your smile, he's gonna have my wild ways, being 240 in the heat of the morning. Sounds just like me, don't it? Yeah, a boy like me's only thinking one thing, gotta get you way out where the crickets sing, down a 2-lane road till you hear a big bang. Then before you know it, I pop a diamond ring, and a girl like you, batting them baby blues, looking at me saying you want one or two. Then after a few good years, waking up to boy like me and a girl like you, with a boy like me and a girl like you. Hey everybody, I see all your comments. Thanks for being here. Yeah. I've never seen my whole life flash before my eyes. That's why you got a boy like me, only thinking one thing, gotta get you way out where the crickets sing, down a 2-lane road till you hear a big bang. Then before you know it, I pop a diamond ring on a girl like you, batting them baby blues, looking at me saying you want one or two. Then after a few good years, waking up to, yeah, after a few good years, we'll be waking up to a boy like me and a girl like you, with a boy like me and a girl like you, yeah. A boy like me and a girl like you. Woo! And the crowd goes wild, 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 wild. So good to see everybody. I'm trying to get this light in the right place. It's driving me nuts. Good enough. How is everybody? Happy Tuesday to you. I cooked dinner tonight, so I have a little burn mark here on my finger. That's what you don't do when you're pulling broccoli out of the oven. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for taking that song all the way to number 1. We have a very special guest. I'm just going to bring her on. So without further ado, please welcome the amazing Nancy.
Hello.
Are you there? You're there.
Yeah,
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm here.
Yay. Uh,
Yeah.
as my uh as my Siri says in my phone, Nancy Tunick
It's
doesn't
but
know
you
how
know,
to.
I have to regularly say it's like a big shirt with a K.
Right. Yes.
And
Tunick.
the people who know fashion know what a tunic is, and
Right.
everybody else, can just walk away from it. But that's, you have it much worse because
Yeah.
obviously the whole Goodvin thing is pretty challenging.
I've explained it a million times in a million different ways.
Yeah.
I always
With a
say,
V.
I always say, with a V. So my
With a V.
publishing company is called With a V Song, but the new one that I've been using is a good VIN number. It's like a good VIN number.
I love that. I haven't heard
Yeah.
you say that. That's awesome.
Oh,
I say
yeah.
with a V all the time, but a good
Right.
VIN number is
It's
really
like a
cool.
good VIN number, which
Yeah,
what is
nice.
a good VIN number? Nobody knows. But
I don't know.
anyway, for those of you who don't know Nancy is my manager. She is and has been for the past 5 years. Holy.
5 years. What is that about? My
I don't
kids had
know.
like light up shoes when I met you.
Yes, they
They would
did.
stamp and the shoes would light up. Now they're, drive. Now they drive.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
And they're so grown up compared to when I first met them. It was a
It's,
weird
and
time
so
because
are you.
they were like 11. They were like
Yeah.
11 and I was like and that now they're like old enough to drive
And be
and
in the video for Boy Like Me,
yes,
Sarah.
Sarah was in the video for
And
Boy
she
Like
looked
Me.
like an adult.
Yeah, full on adult.
Full on adult. We have to say hi to Nikki and to Dave and
Yes.
Teresa, right?
Yeah, we have a
Because
lot
they're
of
saying
great.
hi to me, so I have to
Yes.
say hi back.
Yes. Do we have a Canadian tour booked? Really would love to see you. We are working on a Canadian tour, aren't we, Nancy?
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. 2022 is going to be amazing. I mean, 2021 is already amazing with this record and everything that's going on. But as we get beyond all of what's been happening, 2022 is going to be crazy. Hello, Diane. Your mom is here.
I know. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Um,
You're going to
so
go to
let's.
so many cities in Canada. It's going
I
to be
am.
crazy. Yeah.
I am. It's
Get
going to be
ready.
amazing. Nance is probably one of my no, I would have to say my most trusted ally in the music industry. And anything that we're able to do and accomplish is a main reason for that is because of Nancy. I mean, I have songs and I sang and I do that stuff, but Nance is the one who's constantly working behind the scenes to make stuff happen. And I
Aww.
just love you.
I love you back.
I just love you. You were. It was worth it going through all those other 12 managers I went through before I met you.
And it was worth it going through all those other artists that
Yeah,
until I met you.
really early. So, I mean, I thought we'd just kind of like go back and talk. I mean, we're going to go through every song on this record. But before we do, I just wanted to kind of tell everybody, like, how we met, because we met at a time when I had left the Johnny Reed camp and I was on my own, and we had a welcome from Colorado, everybody. I was on my own. I was kind of like a solo artist, or I was signed to Warner Music Canada. "Woman in Love" was a song that I put out through Nancy's. Nancy has another company that is called Grassroots Promotion that does radio promotion in the USA to secondary markets, and I wanted to make a splash in the US in some way or fashion. So I asked somebody who the best was, and they told me Nancy Tunick and Grassroots Promotion. And I went over and handed him my song "Woman in Love," and I was like, "Do you think this would work out here?" And Nancy was like, "Yes, this is totally great." And then we struck up a friendship pretty quickly. So.
And it's funny. I have such a memory of that day and the office, because Grassroots, we had a management division, and at the time when we met you, the management division wasn't active. We were doing primarily promotion and social media and streaming, but we had offices in the very old Warner building on Music Row. It was the original Warner building before there's a really bright shiny one now. And that Warner building prior was an old hospital, like in the late 1800s. It was a women's hospital. So it was almost slightly creepy and very interesting architecture. And I can picture you walking into that office, which was on the second floor, and we had this, very big conference table. And you and I sat at that very, very big conference table. And as you spoke, I thought, oh, this guy totally has it together, and listened to the music and thought, yeah, this is something really interesting. And you asked me about management, and I said, well, let me help you find a manager. And then ultimately I was like, let me help you find us. So that's how it began.
It was like a roundabout thing where I remember we were promoting the song Woman in Love. You guys were promoting and doing a great job. And we were starting to tour secondary markets. And before you know it, Woman in Love was, I mean, I don't think it took but I don't know, 10 or 12 weeks. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But all of a sudden, we were like top 20 with Woman in Love with my second single on Warner Music Canada. And I was like, I need management so bad. And I remember calling Nancy and I was like, okay, well, I need a manager. And she's like, well, how about we just do it? And I was like, that sounds great. We've been together ever since.
Yes.
So, just to give everybody a little background on that. So let's talk about this EP because first of all, I love this record so much. And obviously the first song, Boy Like Me, that to me was kind of like a standout like single, right? Did you feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was just jumped out. It felt so fresh, and also still had that writing thing that you have that evokes this really crafty writing from the 90s, but feels really current. And so, yes, it felt like a real obvious.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to need somebody to write down all these great quotes so that I can read Nancy quotes while I'm going to bed at night or when I'm feeling bad about myself. But no, that's a really cool way of putting it. I remember Matt and I talking about Boy Like Me, and Matt does this thing where he pretends like he's hinting it to you, but he's actually full on blatantly saying it. Like, I hope this is the single, And I was like, I think it will be the first one. But so obviously, Boy Like Me was.
Oh, we should say Matt McClure too, and I'm sure most people know, but the producer or co-producer on the record with you.
Yes. And so he was like, I hope this is the single. Was there any other song that was like off this EP that you thought compared to be like the first single, or was this like the dead ringer?
Well, originally when we listened to so much of your music, I mean, it was so wonderful. There were so many songs. So you have to know there's this little platform called Song Space where you can put songs on and people can listen on private links. And we were sharing with Warner and our team all of these songs that Aaron had written and trying to decide what we were going to put on this EP. And it was a crazy endeavor because there were so many songs. But the other song that struck me originally was We're All Crazy. So it's such a unique song. It had such a sort of compelling message and in such a weird time, right? Like in such a time where people are suffering. And it has such an interesting, tone to it. And you may not be doing that next because you may be going in order, but that originally We're All Crazy and Boy Like Me were the two. When you came out of the studio, Boy Like Me, obviously to me was where it should start. And then the problem is we have so many songs that we would love to have as singles and take to radio, but we can't take them all. So then it becomes even more challenging.
Yeah, who are we gonna bring to the party?
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, let's just go in whatever order we go in. I'll go to We're All Crazy because I can be a human jukebox with my own record.
Awesome.
So I can just play this song. This is what I remembered about this is that we all had our lists. Like we had it like down to like 20 songs per, or like 18 songs. I can't remember. Everybody had like 18 down from 100 or something crazy. And then we all had our little list and we were working off of. And Nancy goes, okay, now I think that everybody should pick a song that nobody else has picked. Like and add it to your top 20. So basically, I can't remember what you called it, but it was like a dark
the sleeper single sleeper, I think,
sleeper or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're like, pick the sleeper. So everybody's like going through and they're picking like the one extra song that nobody else has touched. And Nancy was like, this is a no-brainer. and she played We're All Crazy, and I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And then I started to think about it, and I think the thing that got us totally off of We're All Crazy, which I think is something, Julie, I know you're here, I think we should put the bluegrass version of We're All Crazy in the fan club,
Fan the Jam, yeah.
in the jam, because when we wrote and recorded this song, we recorded it kind of like a bluegrass thing. And I think that's what threw me off from even thinking of this song as like something that I would do. But then when I heard the lyric and I was like, what if we kind of, Eric Church or Lee Bryce this thing up a little bit? What would that sound like? And Matt and I started working on it, and we're like, this is really cool. Like this is funky. And it was also a vibe that we didn't have on the record. And plus, it's something that I think needs to be said, because we all have our crazy little things that we tend to go to. So this is We're All Crazy. I don't even know what track this is. Track 4? Is it 5? Track 5, I think. Is that
6.
right?
6.
Track 6. Sorry.
Yeah.
Drink a beer just to lose a memory, ride a bull just to make a little money, drive across the country just to kiss a girl, and dive out of a fast-moving airplane, small town chicken with a midnight freight train, do anything to fit in this world. But we say we can when we know we can't, then we close our eyes, jump on in. We're all here, we're all fine, we're just doing all we can to just get by. As different as we are, we're all the same. We'll do anything, say we're not insane. We're all crazy, we're all crazy. Yeah, baby. Let us know if you like that one, everybody. We just hope that all these songs, we had enough time to put them all out to radio. We just don't. I wish we did, but we just don't.
We could just stay with this EP for the next 4 years.
See, that's what's always good. Like, I guess that's my challenge. As because I know when you approached, or when we first started talking about doing this record, like I was totally in the headspace that like we're going to do another record like we did the first two. We're going to track 11 songs, maybe 12, 13. We're going to pick from there. We're going to have all these different types of songs on the record, which is a way that I started piecing my records together based on like my first producer was like, I started to really think about like, hey, I've got 3 great breakup songs, but I don't think they all go on the same record. And you really have to start like divvying it up like that. So when you started talking EP, I was like, I remember just for the first few weeks being like, I don't know what to do.
How do you build an EP?
How do you make an EP that has everything,
But then we decided to make 2 EPs, right? Like, so we're actually going to have a second EP in 2022 so that there's this constant flow of music. So then it becomes a different kind of tone because you get to keep reinventing the project.
Yeah, and I've done a ton of media this week, and one thing I found myself saying about all of it was like, there is something really cool about putting more music out more frequently, because you kind of go into the studio and you write a song, or you go into and you write this song and you send it to everybody and they're like, this is amazing. Like, we should go record it. And so you're almost in the studio shortly after you've written the song, which up until, this is the first time I've ever experienced that. And I'm specifically talking about, when I talk about that, like the song You Ain't, because You Ain't was this song that, we wrote a couple weeks before we went into the studio. I remember loving the song, and I played it for everybody, and everybody's like, I think we have to cut this. Like, I think we have to cut this song.
And that meant we had to go back through all of those songs and decide what we weren't cutting.
Yeah, we had to like
really. Come on, Aaron, stop writing.
Stop writing songs. I can't remember what you said about You Ain't, but I remember I know it's Julie's favorite, who's also on the management team, who voiced her opinion and then highlighted her own comment about how, because Julie's handling all the comments tonight, so she highlighted her own comment. This is my favorite song, which I love. But there she is again. So this is so I'm going to play this song, but I wrote this with Skip Black and Nicole Witt, and one of the things that I always remember about this is that well, there's a couple things. One, of course, I'm the artist, like the guy who's like, oh, I had a number one with You Are. Why not try to have a number one with You Ain't? And so when we went in to cut this song, Matt and I were like, we're going to cut 4 number ones. And we actually ended up moving one of the songs to the next EP. So it might actually be another number one, but there's that. And then we had, You Ain't, I wrote with Nicole Witt and Skip Black, and Skip and I were in the room, but Nicole actually had COVID when we wrote this song
Oh,
and stayed at her house, but didn't want to cancel the write. So she still wrote with us. And because she did, she ended up with a song on this record. So.
oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun little fact. So I'm going to play You Ain't. This is track 2. You could be LA, toes in the ocean, skin turning golden under the sun. Or maybe Montana, picking wildflowers out on the range where the horses run. I don't know where you are, but I know you ain't. Shotgun in my ride, sleeping on your side of the California king-size bed. You ain't dancing in my shirt, pulling me in with no words, turning my lips your shade of ruby red. Oh, I wish I could say she'll come around. You're out there thinking about me now, but you ain't. Yeah, time is a healer, but I ain't no saint. If you ever come back, I'm telling you, you're too late. And you ain't shotgun in my ride, sleeping on your side of this California king-size bed. You ain't dancing in my shirt, pulling me in with no words, turning my lips your shade of ruby red. Oh, I wish I could say that I'll come around. You're everything that I need right now, but you ain't. You ain't. No, you ain't. Woo! One of my favorite songs.
Amazing. I love that song.
It's so great, and it's just one of those songs. How often do I write a week? So it kind of varies on weeks like this when I have 3,000 radio phone calls and Zooms to do. I don't write very much, but typically, time off, I try to write about once a day, maybe 3-4 times a week. Is usually what it was. When I first moved here, it was like twice a day, every day, but I just can't keep up that schedule. I'm a married man. I have responsibilities now. So,
and you have dogs.
And I have dogs. So dogs need to get fed. So, but yeah, I write quite a bit. So when I'm home and that being said, like that's me in the room writing. That's not me getting ready to write or do any of that stuff, but I try and dabble every day. So,
I love
Aaron
that
Goodvin's
Alan
greatest
comment.
hits.
Yeah, I love that. 100 songs. Let's do it.
I love it. Let's do that. So awesome. So that being said, you ain't kind of came in the last minute. We were able to go record it, and knock some other song off. That first day we recorded 4 songs for the record. The one made it to the next EP. The other song that we cut that day, what song was that now? I'm trying to remember.
People Talk, maybe?
No, People Talk was
No?
on the second one.
I was going to, well, why not
Oh,
us?
I remember what it was. It was the Fan the Jam song.
Oh, yes.
This is a song that a lot of the Fan the Jammers that are here will obviously know because they pretty much picked it. Thank you, David Ross, for your lovely comments. This is a song that the fan club had chose and was actually supposed to be on the first record, right, Nancy?
That's right. And was it
I should say on the V record.
Right, on the second record, but the V record, the last record. So was it the first song that you put into the jam?
I don't know if it was the first one, but it was early. Like
Right.
It was very early. And for the I kind of put it in there. I remember we were talking, I was like, I really want to know what like my fans think of this song, because it was a song that we felt like everybody felt so strongly about. Like, we love this song so much. But sometimes you love something and your fans don't even really, they like it, but they don't like attach themselves to it. It's not something that they, can't live without. And I felt like when we put this in the jam, it just kind of exploded within the jam.
It was so interesting too, because you did such a great job during COVID heat, where you couldn't go out at all to play, to do a lot of live streams like this. And so we had a lot of fans, and Fan the Jammers on, and then you also did concerts just for them. And shortly after you put About Mexico into the jam, it became the request that was the song everyone requested. Like, as soon as everyone come on, it would be like, play Lonely Drum and play About Mexico. And so, and that continued all the way throughout. I mean, we have a bunch of our fabulous jammers on right now. And
totally. And what I love so much about this is, there's a few in particular that are like obsessed with it. But what was I going to say? It was really great. So About Mexico was, I feel like it's almost something that we built the record around, because it was like everybody had it like on their list, like between Matt V, Mom, you, everybody on the list, everybody who gets that first, the say and what we cut is like, everybody, I feel like About Mexico is at the top, because I felt like we left it behind on that record, on the last record, and it was just such a strong thing that we just wanted to make sure that we recorded. So I'm going to play that for you. What do you think about Mexico? You and me in an El Camino, singing along to words we don't know. What do you think about Mexico? Ooh, ooh. Red gardenia in your long brown hair. Stop at the mission just to say a prayer. Light a couple candles, sneak in a beer. God won't mind if we get drunk there. God won't mind if we get drunk there. You can dance on the table with a shot of tequila, just for me, for the whole cantina, or in a rundown room with adobe walls. Let you pry my boots off, let your dress just fall. Let you pry my boots off, let your dress just fall. Out the window shines a sangria moon, and a coyote howling out of tune. We could rise for the sun, for the rooster crows, blow that town like some banditos, stumble across the border with an adios. What do you think about Mexico? What do you think about Mexico? The crowd goes, wow.
I'm ready to sing the ooze. Hey,
I
David
know.
Ross, who's the label head here for the label in the U.S.,
Yes.
was mentioning that it was like the first time he heard Bars and Churches, because the first time he heard Bars and Churches, he cried. I mean, not to embarrass you, David,
You wept.
but he wept. No, we all did, but that emotion from that song, I think really it's just this sort of magical, unique combination of the painted lyric and that beautiful melody. And Nikki earlier asked if I sang on anything, because in the V album we had the crowd vocals. But I'm telling you, I could do a killer ooh on that song.
I know you could.
We're on the road, like, just bring me in.
It's oftentimes that we'll phone Nancy. This week we zoomed to have a little manager meeting, and Nancy was sitting at the piano playing and singing, doing her thing. So it's awesome. That song is just so. There's no other song that I've ever written, I don't think, that I feel like you can see the whole thing happening, in such a beautiful way. So I'm so glad that we finally got to record that song.
And if you want to hear the demo of it, which is uniquely different than actually the recording on the project, and you're not a Fan the Jam member. Oh wait, I'm doing an ad. I'm so sorry.
You are doing an ad. I know. I like it. I usually have to do it.
I count my lucky stars for the fans, and so come on and join Fan the Jam.
Yes, come join us if you're not a member. We're also going to drop. I'm going to drop the bluegrass version too. We're all cool there. So I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
So those were the 4 songs that we cut, that we went in and said these are going to be number ones. Well, I didn't play you one, but that'll be on the next EP, so we'll play it for you then. So we got a few songs. So then we went in to record the second set of songs, which was very interesting, because we all had so many songs that we wanted to choose from, and it almost came down like to it for me, where I was like, I just started looking at songs that I would want to, that just felt like, what's the like, I literally found myself going, what is the one thing that I want to say at this time? And so the first song that we cut that next day we went in, was a song that I felt was a super strong song that we could name the record after, and we could also talk about, shine some light on, what we all need right now, which I think is just a little more gratitude, and thinking about the things that we, that we have in our life, not the things that we don't, because there's a lot of uncertainty going on in the world. And so the first song we cut, and this was a song that Matt McClure, I remember him, producer, was just like, we've got to cut this song, and wanted to cut it so bad. And we actually took the tempo up on this song, which I think just turned it into a monster hit, which is why I don't even know if we can, I'm about to play Lucky Stars. What were your thoughts on Lucky Stars?
Oh, I think that we all felt like it was such an incredibly beautiful song and had such a great message. But when you recorded it, when you came out of the studio, prior to that, it was just the tone of the record. It was the mood setter, like you said. But when you came out of the studio, then we thought, oh gosh, it's another single. What are we going to do about that? Now we're looking at 5 songs that feel like singles. So it really did change it a little bit, so that it just became such a really big record that moved, that felt like something that, that people will hear on the radio. So maybe people will hear it on the radio.
Maybe they will. We just shot a video for this song, and it's very rare that I think the video makes. For those of you who haven't seen it, you can go check it out on the YouTubes. But it's I love the song. I love it even more when I watch the video with the song, which I think is hard to do, it's hard to feel like make a song better when you watch a video, but I just really feel like it does that. So here's the title track. And the reason we're all here today, this is Lucky Stars. I take a lot for granted. I never say I'm sorry when I should. This life I've been handed, I probably shouldn't be half this good, but there's something about the moonlight, something about your brown eyes tonight, it's making me realize that I would be a damn fool if I didn't count my lucky stars to get to be anywhere you are. I want to hit my knees and thank the good Lord for every wrong turn and every scar that led me to the one who has my heart. Count my lucky stars. There ain't no way around it. I'm the worst at getting in my own way. I don't deserve it, but I found it. Someone who loves me anyway. So I count my lucky stars to get to be anywhere you are. I want to hit my knees and thank the good Lord for every wrong turn and every scar that led me to the one who has my heart. And count my lucky stars. Lucky Stars. Title track of the record. One of my favorite songs ever. I can't help but think of my wife every time I sing that song. Because I really do count my lucky stars for that one. I think I'd be here without her. I think Nancy would probably agree with that.
Totally. I count my lucky stars for Victoria all the time. No, I totally do. I totally do. And it's such a powerful song and such a powerful emotion. And Timothy should not lose faith, by the way.
Don't lose faith, Timothy.
He said if it isn't, he loses faith. I think he's referring to it being a single. So.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
No, just an amazing, powerful song. And you wrote that song with
Skip Black and Terry McBride.
Yeah, which is neat. I love that.
So neat because me being such a 90s fan, Terry McBride was the lead singer of McBride and the Ride. So there you go. And also, I can't take credit for that melody, which I hate saying because I'm kind of a stickler for melody. I always joke around. V's like, what would you explain yourself in the writing room? And I go, I'm more of a melody guy. But which is sort of true, but sort of not. Like I do a lot, but I do love a great melody. And I think, Terry was the one who ripped that melody out. And I was like, where is that from? And I was like, that's amazing. I just loved singing that song. I think part of the reason why it became such a single idea or more of a thing where we're like, we got to, put this on the radio. And if we do, and
we're doing such a bad job of this.
We are doing a great job. But it's, it's because like from the demo to what we brought it up about 8 beats per minute, which is almost unheard of. Like, and when we brought it up, it just came to life. Yeah. Like, it's just amazing. So I'm glad everybody loves that one. We're going to play a couple more songs off the EP. Let's move on to where are we at now? People Talk. Let's move on to that. You have any thoughts on People Talk?
That's funny. I'm trying to remember. I think People Talk might have been one of the hey, everyone grab a song that other people haven't grabbed also. And then everyone said, right. And everyone said, oh, right, absolutely. And I think that the mix, trying to get these songs to be in one sort of vein, but still have particular avenues, was really interesting. And People Talk sits sort of in its own space and but still blends in. So I just,
well, it's one of my, like, I'm a sucker for songs like this that sort of have like an R&B feel.
yes,
That have, but that also are so like so incredibly country. And I remember I love this song. I think that when I wrote this song, we wrote it right around the time that Lee Brice had come out with Rumor Going. There's a Rumor Going Around, which was
right,
like, and I remember going, dang it.
right.
Because I was like, it feels like it's like the same subject matter, but you put them back to back and you almost can't tell.
But your mom's right. She's talking about the groove of it, and that's what you're saying about that R&B feel, and that's a good point. Like, you have these amazing sort of tempo songs, you have ballads that are so powerful, and then you have this groove thing that you do, and you've done on every record. And so that's a really good point. It's the groove of this. That's
cool. Here's People Talk. We've been dancing around, jumping in, waiting on the right time to go all in. And I got half a mind to go downtown, spin you around any old hardwoods we can find. Make this whole town wonder why we waited so long to get a little too close on the dance floor, linger on a little look for just long enough to make them think we might be falling in love. Maybe even make them wish they were us. Baby, we could be the rumor that's running wild, top of the conversation for a country mile, till they say we're just showing off. Baby, what you say? Let's make some people talk. Were the whispers on Sunday? Oh, we might as well be on the front page anyway. 'Cause what we got is better than all the rest. Maybe that's why they're getting jealous, calling us crazy. Girl, if they're crazy, I say we prove them right and get a little too close on the dance floor, linger on a little look for just long enough to make them think we might be falling in love. Maybe even make them wish they were us. Baby, we could be the rumor that's running wild, top of the conversation for a country mile, till they say we're just showing off. But baby, what you say? Let's make some people talk. Let's make some people talk. Woo! I love that song so much.
That's a great song.
I love all these songs so darn much. Well, it's been amazing that you were able to join us and talk a little bit about these songs and how we pick them. Before we go, we got one song left on the EP. I know what I want to say about this song, but I wanted to give you a chance to talk about Why Not Us.
Okay, I will, because Why Not Us is one of the songs that you've written that reminds me and makes me count my lucky stars for music. So when I listen to music, sometimes you just have this feeling, the goosebumps or the emotion just from one listen. And on the V album, For the Life of Me was that. I obsessed over that song for a long time when I heard it the first time, just because it touched me so much and gave me chills every time I heard it. Why Not Us was that song for me on this pass when I first heard it, when you, I think, turned it in, as a song you had written, or maybe when you had submitted it. I think it was older than turning in, actually. But I was so impacted by it emotionally that it reminded me of why I do what I do. It reminded me of how much I love music. There are certain songs that you say, oh, right. And some of them are, like, for me, are classical songs, like a Chopin nocturne, and you go, oh my
Right.
God, music, for goodness sake.
Great. Yeah.
And this is that kind of song for me, not to, overstate it, but it just makes me feel so much. So I was so glad to have this on the project.
This is so I love that, and this has the one of my favorite chord changes in country music in it, and what this does is there's a song on the V record, if everybody recalls, it's called "Kill a Kiss," and "Kill a Kiss." Why Not Us checks the Kill a Kiss box for me. It has this emotion to it. Um, I wrote this song with Bart Butler years ago. I think this is a Warner Chappell song. Like, it's an older song. And but it's always one that I kept in my back pocket and threw in for every record because I've just always loved this song. And it's so cool to me how songs can take that long to just end up in the public eye. But it also reminds me of a Stapleton thing, which if I'm ever alone by myself in a hotel room, you can probably bet that I'm just going down a rabbit hole of Chris Stapleton videos, like just listening to that dude sing. Like, I want to sing like him so bad that I never will be able to. He's just a freak of nature, but it's so inspiring to me. And I sort of, like, throughout, every time in the back of my mind when I make a record, I'm always looking for a song like this, like a song that um, it just reminds me of why I love music and country music, and not necessarily looking for a song to you know top the charts, and that people are going to stream over and over and over again, and like none of that, just all about music. That's what this song is for me. So thank you all for tuning in, and here's a little I gotta remember what key to do this in. um, we both believe. I had to go over it because where I usually play it is not where I'm about to play it.
Is that the time of day, or
Yeah.
or the number of interviews you've given today?
Yeah, something like that. Let's see. We both believe we don't deserve this. Oh no, too many wrongs can't make us right. 'Cause when we're about to fall into a long kiss, we push each other back and change our minds. We can't seem to outrun the pain of the past. We don't even try, 'cause it just won't last. But girl, tonight it'd be a shame to be afraid to ask. Why not us? Why can't we be in love just like everybody else? We both have a heart, can't keep them in the dark for the rest of this night. When there's a light shining in your eyes, we just gotta trust. This really is love. Why not us? We both, oh man, maybe be the reason we both been broken. And so when we'd fit together, we'd fit perfectly. And we'd feel it right there in the moment. And I know you feel it too, so honestly, why not us? Why can't we be in love just like everybody else? We both have a heart, can't keep them in the dark for the rest of this night. There's a light shining in your eyes. We just gotta trust this really is love. Why not us? Baby, why not us? And that's it, everybody. That is the Lucky Stars EP. Thank you so much to Nancy Tunick, producer Julie Dove on the StreamYard streaming show. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We love that you're here. Thank you for tuning in every week. 3 things I'm grateful for. I want to say a big hello and huge thank you to KYYK in Palestine, Texas. And the Shelton Gin for the amazing night we had out in Texas. I really feel like they totally get what I do in my music out there, and it feels so darn good. So we love you so much. Thank you. I want to thank my band for killing it, for not having a ton of shows this past 18 months and showing up and slaying it. So I'm very thanking my Lucky Stars for Casey Todd, Matt Gandenberger, Will Larson, Austin Rothrock, and honorable mention to Rob Shapiro, who we haven't had a chance to play with in a while. We love you, buddy. Brett Hansen, Keith Runco, you guys rock. And then also I want to give you a big thank you to my dad for fixing the light in our entrance today. We can now see when we fold our laundry. It's amazing. And also for driving us to Texas and back for the most part. So thanks, Dad. And we love you also. Don't forget to catch your Lucky Stars this week. Let us know what you're grateful for. And a huge thank you to Nancy. Nance, thanks for joining. You truly are. You've been a lifesaver for these past 5 years. And thank you for believing in me and believing in this music and everything that we do. Everybody join Fan the Jam if you want to hear a bluegrass version of We're All Crazy, because I'm going to drop it as soon as I possibly can. And come do that. So we'll see you next week on Counting My Lucky Stars. Thank you for joining, and love y'all. Bye-bye.